What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and welcome back to another YouTube video. Now, in today's YouTube video, not only are we going to be doing a complete Week 9 challenge guide, however, we are also going to be doing a guide on how to do all of the Foundation's challenges, including where to go to complete specific ones. So without further ado, let's start off today's YouTube video by talking about the Week 9 challenges first. Most of these challenges are actually rather simple, so we're going to be blazing through a lot of these topics, such as the first one, which is the simply put, deal damage to opponents with the heavy shotgun. The heavy shotgun has recently been unvaulted, and it's way different than it was before, so this will definitely take either 1 or 2 kills, depending on the person has shield or not, to actually complete the challenge. However, you only have to do 200 damage for this one to complete. Our second challenge for Week 9 is also a super simple one, only requiring you to reach max shield in a total of 3 matches. So what you really could do is go somewhere where you can easily just shield up to maximum, complete that, that first stage or whatever of it, and then instantly leave the match, go to the same spot, and do the thing over and over again until you've completed this challenge. Our third challenge just requires you to loot supply drops. Now for this one, I am going to say that your best bet for doing this is actually going to go to Covert Cavern, because inside of the actual vault that you'll unlock by defeating the Gunnar boss over there has a total of 4 supply drops inside of it. So definitely, if you want to just complete this right away, go to Covert Cavern and eliminate the boss there, because he's super easy to eliminate. It's just, they have a lot of health, so make sure you have 1 or 2 guns with you with a decent amount of ammo. And that challenge should just be a cakewalk. You don't even have to wait till late game or anything to do it, as long as you go to that specific vault, because it only requires just 1 person who has eliminated the boss to open it. Our fourth challenge is to actually ignite structures. Now for this one, I do have a little bit of an interesting tip. Sure, while you're playing the game, you might actually come across a flare gun through normal matches. However, I would recommend you go to the specific location you'll see on the image below, and the reason why I want you to go to this location is because you're going to find firefly jars at this area, and you can just use those to throw it at random structures or whatever. It's basically your way of going to a spot that has guaranteed firefly spawns, just to get this challenge out of the way. Our fifth challenge is insanely simple, just requiring you to restore health in the storm, and my tip for this is literally just to take like guzzle juice or something that is super quick to activate, whether it be fish, whether it be guzzle juice or anything else. Just take it in the storm, take that slight little tick of damage, and then just run back to the circle after you've already, healed yourself up. And the reason why I mentioned using guzzle juice is because even though it deactivates while you're in the storm, it still heals you up at least a little bit before it instantly deactivates a few moments later. And now our sixth challenge is going to be one that you definitely want to follow this guide for, because while you won't be able to complete it in a single match, or maybe you will if you find more locations, this definitely helps you get further down to officially completing this. And that is to destroy 5 different hiding places. Now my personal tip for this, and this is something someone mentioned over in my Twitter account, is that you need to go to the Devourer's like little skull, the little bones or whatever of the Devourer, which you can see a little location of in the background. You're going to want to go there because there's 3 porta potties all lined up next to each other, meaning that if you can't find more after that first match, you've basically already completed 50% of the challenge from 1 match just by going to this specific location. And now our final challenge for Week 9, that is not one of the replacement challenges, is quite literally just to visit 5 different named locations in a single match. And personally, if you want my advice of where you should go to complete this challenge as fast as possible, I would say drop at Chonker's Speedway to grab, a fully kitted Whiplash right off the bat, loot up a little bit if you need to, grab a gun of course, and then drive over to the right to Condo Canyon, drive upwards to the Jonesies, and then just continue to drive upwards through the Sanctuary into the Daily Bugle. That way you're just getting a lot of major areas covered back to back to back, and the main reason I want to pick out these specific ones is because sure, Chonker Speedway has the vehicles. You go to Condo Canyon, which is just, a little nice area to chill at. It has a gas station nearby for you to refuel if you need to. You go to the Jonesies, it has a few NPCs you can buy stuff from, or you just stop there to loot up real quick. The Sanctuary has the Foundation boss if you want to eliminate them for whatever reason, and then the Daily Bugle is a great spot for finding Spider-Man's web shooters. So it's definitely a great path to go down if you want to make sure you still have a normal match looted up and everything else, while also completing the challenge pretty fast. However, an alternative way to go could be somewhere like Logjam Lumberyard, over to Shifty Shaft, Sleepy Sound, then the Daily Bugle, and Coney Crossroads, since all of those are crammed very closely together. And now for our week 9 replacement challenges, in case one of them breaks, they're super simple. The first one is to stoke campfires 10 times. And what this is the feature where after you've already activated a campfire, you continuously activate it over and over again, spending wood in order to make it heal you faster for a little bit longer. You just gotta do this 10 times and you'll complete the challenge. In the background footage, you should be able to see a map that showcases all the campfire locations, so definitely figure out which one you want to go to if this one is one of the replacement challenges that gets enabled in the near future. And now the second replacement challenge is pretty self-explanatory. It's just to consume 15 foraged items, which is also something you should be doing normally since it's one of the challenges for Haven's Mass. But with all that said, it's time to hop over into the land of the Foundation, where we'll be telling you how to complete every single one of the Foundation's challenges. Now most of these also won't have that much of a guide to them. However, something I want to mention right away is that none of the challenges requires you to actually eliminate the Foundation in game. So that saves you a lot of stress in case everyone's going to that same location, or you just fail to eliminate him every time you go up to him. So to start us off, let's talk about our first challenge. Our first Foundation challenge is to visit the Mighty Monument, a 7 Outpost, and the Sanctuary, and any match you want. So you could go to one match, to the second another match, etc, etc. However, you won't need to do that because on screen right now are 3 very close locations to go to each of these different point of interest, whatever you want to call them, all in the same match. That's right, the Mighty Monument is the Foundation statue, the Sanctuary is literally in the same location as the Mighty Monument, and then a 7 Outpost can be found right off the edge of the Sanctuary. So you can just make a little pathway, it's practically a straight line, to complete this challenge pretty simply. Our second challenge is going to require you to search chests or ammo boxes at Covert Cavern. Now there's an image on screen that shows a lot of chest spawns at this area, so definitely just drop over there, and maybe you already completed this one when you were doing one of the other challenges to open up supply drops that I mentioned earlier, and just open up 3 chest or ammo boxes. Insanely simple, you should be able to complete it in a single match. Our third challenge is another insanely simple one. All you have to do is use shield potions in a single match. And now for this one, I would say if you have multiple shield minis and you can't find like a big shield pot or anything like that, try finding fireflies and throw one of the fireflies directly at your feet, because when you do that, you'll instantly take 40 shield damage, assuming you have shield on you when you do this damage to yourself, allowing you to continuously use those mini shield potions that you got just a moment ago. Now our fourth Foundation challenge is insanely simple to unlock Foundation's Plasma Spike, and that is to deal 100 melee damage to opponents. So basically just drop down where you see someone else landing and start pickaxing them right away. However, our fifth challenge is insanely interesting, like it's super specific here, and it's to snipe an opponent while you're using a sniper rifle while crouching. So not only just snipe an opponent, deal damage with a sniper rifle, but you also have to make sure you're crouching when you're doing this damage. It's to play into the whole entire stealth mechanic of the Foundation's lore, so yeah, it's pretty simple to do. However, it's very, kind of situational, I would say. And now our sixth challenge that you can complete on page 1 before you unlock page 2 is to simply hire an NPC and travel 1,000 meters with them. So in the background footage right now, you can actually see all of the locations that has an NPC you can hire. Obviously, there is the one Jonesy NPC that is in multiple locations, so I would say if you're trying to go for that one, make sure that you probably just don't. Basically what I'm saying here is go for any of the other NPCs that aren't in multiple locations, just to make this easier on yourself. Now our seventh challenge, once you've completed all of the first 6 challenges for the Foundation, is to assist in eliminating Gunnar. Now Gunnar is the boss over at Covert Cavern, so by time you've done one of the challenges I mentioned earlier in this video, you'll most likely complete this challenge. However, if it doesn't complete, it might be a little bit locked to the point where you have to actually do some damage to Gunnar and then have a friend finish off the Gunnar NPC themselves. It is very situational, so if that's the case and it doesn't count for you, this is probably why. So you're going to have to find someone to actually eliminate Gunnar with you. And now that is not confirmation of Gunnar actually being unable to eliminate yourself to complete the challenge, it's just a little bit of an explanation in case this doesn't count when you're doing it solo. Our 8th Foundation challenge, however, is to simply deal 500 headshot damage to players with a common or uncommon weapon. So this is another one of those very situational, challenges, I guess, but just find a weapon that you're good at getting headshots with and then just get tons of headshots throughout that match or multiple matches. It's one of those things that you'll eventually complete over time if you at least play enough. And our 9th challenge is to deal damage to opponents from above with shotguns or SMGs. So my advice for this one is, let's say there's someone right next to you, you're on the exact same floor. You can be that little bit extra and just build a ramp upwards and then start shooting down at them from this ramp. Definitely works way better if you use something like, you know, the SMG instead of the shotgun, because sure, the shotguns can help you out, but the SMG's fire rate will help you actually deal more damage for a shorter amount of time while from the above area. So if this person is also trying to build up to get higher than you still get a little bit more of an advantage, whereas the shotgun, you can't really shoot that often with it and do as much damage in such a short amount of time. And now our 10th and final challenge for the actual Foundation unlocks is to land at a 7 Outpost and finish in the top 10. So basically, go to any of the areas in the image right now on screen that is in a yellow circle, go there, land there, loot up, and play your match like normal, or just hide around until you get to the top 10, and you'll unlock basically everything else that you haven't unlocked yet, just being the Rocket Wing Glider and the Rocket Wing Glider Stealth variant. But I hope this video was informative to you guys and you found it enjoyable. If you did, consider subscribing for more Fortnite news and content, and I'll catch you champs and champettes tomorrow with another YouTube video. Peace out.